Hi everyone, a video tutorial for you, well more a tip for you today around using the lovely flower shop bundle that's in the new catalogue, which includes this gorgeous stamp and the coordinating Pansy Punch. Now, one of my friends today outlined to me that, asked me, how do you go about matching up your stamp to your punch? And I wasn't sure what she meant until I took out one of the stamps from our lovely set here. And if you stamp, put it on a block, and I'll grab an ink pad here, some lovely Bermuda Bay, and you just randomly pick up the stamp, some scrap cardstock here, give it a quick stamp down with the beautiful flower, lovely. Then as you would normally do, you grab your punch and you go to line it up. But you'll pretty quickly find that the punch and the flower, let me zoom in for you so you can see what I'm talking about. The punch and the flower only line up in one direction. So you have to keep moving your cardstock around. Oh, it's not that one. That one. Okay, you just have to keep moving your punch around your stamped image until you actually get the punch and the stamp line up perfect. And then you can punch your flower out. Now, that to me is a bit of a clumsy, fiddly way of doing this. Now, I'll show you on this card here. I've got 3 little flowers stamped and punched out, and it took me no time at all. So how do I do mine so quickly? Well, I came up with a really neat way of marking your stamp so that you get it perfect every single time, and I want to share that with you. That's what this tip's about. You'll notice on the back of my acrylic stamp here that one of my petals on this flower, this is the flower that I used to do this card here, has got a pink petal that I've just coloured in with an ordinary Sharpie permanent marker. And that's to tell me which way to put, which of these petals lines up to the bottom petal at the base of my punch here. Okay, now let me show you what I mean and how I go about doing this. So let's use this image here that I haven't used with my punch yet. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab myself a piece of scrap cardstock and I'm going to write the word base on the bottom of this cardstock just so that I don't get confused. Now you only need to do this once, so once you've done it you can throw it away. It's just any scrap that you've got. So stick this in so that the base goes into the base of your punch that way. This is what I call the base, is where the Stampin' Up logo is. Stamp your posy out, then you've got yourself a nice pansy, not posy, then you've got yourself a nice little template. And if you place it on the top of your flower image, and this is assuming you've stuck your sticker on correctly to your flower, you'll see, if you keep rotating it around, aha, found it. There's one way and one way only. Let me just move this into the, there's one way and one way only that the punch matches. Oh, and that's still not it, so let's keep moving around. It's pretty tricky actually. And I understand now her frustration. Oh, look at that, I was one petal off. So that's where it matches up. I understand now her frustration, saying it can take you forever if you're stamping your image and then rolling your image out, around and around, trying to line up your punch. I absolutely understand now how it could absolutely do your head in. So now I've got my image here lined up exactly with the punch, so I know that every time if I stamp this image, that's the way it's got to be, with this petal down the base of the punch to punch it out perfectly, so no more guesswork. So while I've got it on there, all I'm going to do is grab my Sharpie permanent marker, or any marker you want, and then I just give my petal a colour in. Doesn't affect my stamp. It I don't mind a bit of pink every now and then. So now there's no confusion at all when I go to pick up my stamp sets. I'll show you what this stamp set. All I'll do is I'll pick it up. It doesn't affect it's sticking to the block, I'll stick it onto my acrylic block like that, grab a bit of scrap cardstock in. So I know now that every time I stamp this image down, as long as this pink petal is towards the base of my cardstock, so let's ink this little guy up, stamp him down. I know now when I pick up this flower, if I stick my punch in, straight away, as long as that flower's at the base of my punch, I just get really particular about having an even border all the way around. Like that. Okay, no more guesswork about which way round. You have to keep turning your punch until it's right on your image. So all you do, you'll see that I've got a whole, the ones I've used at the very least, in my case here, can't really see that through the plastic. The ones I've used anyway have got pink petals, which tells me that that's the one that goes into, that's the way I stamp it down, and they go into the base of the punch. And if I stamp them that way every single time, my punch will have no guesswork required. I can stamp my flowers and punch them out in no time at all. So I hope that tip helps you guys. Certainly something that we just stumbled across this afternoon and I thought I'd share. So hopefully that takes the angst out of lining up your gorgeous flower shop stamps with your Pansy Punch.